Hello everybody, good afternoon and Tashidele. So before we start the root text, so today His Holiness I start the teaching from the Chinese language. The first, the sentence is dispel the afflictive of three poisons. So as a Buddhist, we believe all the suffering which is we have in the past, present, and future, everything caused by the three poison minds. Also, we need to know the order or the sequence of three poison minds. The first is the ignorance, is like a foundation. Due to the ignorance, then we have a misunderstanding about the truth. Then there's an attachment. Based on ignorance and attachment, then we have the anger and hatred and the rest of the afflicted emotion caused by ignorance and attachment. Then two of them cause to arouse everything. And also, when you open any Dharma books, they always mention three poison mind. Tibetan we said nyamung tuk, mean poison. So when we eat, the poison food, while we are eating the poison food, we don't feel there's a poison. Also, we don't have any worry after the food eating, we're going to sick. It is same thing when we really generate attachment or naturally arise attachment. That moment we don't understand the attachment can harm for me later or in the future. Therefore, the three afflictive mind, attachment, anger, ignorance look like poison in our life. In order to free us from suffering, first we need to free from the cause of suffering. Without free from the cause of suffering, we cannot be freed from the sufferings. So how we should free from sufferings? How we should achieve happiness? Here, almost the average Buddhist people has a really misunderstanding, perception how we should free from suffering. Therefore, when we face problem, when we have a mental or physical suffering, suddenly we remember, praying to Triple Gem, reciting mantra. These are good, but those practice will never be free from the cause and free from the cause of suffering. Therefore, the second line, generate or luminous the wisdom light. Is also very, very, very important. In order to free from ignorance, we need wisdom to know the truth nature of ignorance. Applying in the wisdom, then we can eliminate the ignorance. Then the wisdom is look like light to dispel the ignorance. Second, then we have attachment. In order to free us from attachment, we need another light, which is the light of compassion. Then third, light of non-attachment. The third, in order to free from the anger, we need another light, which is the compassion, kindness, and tolerance. Those are the light to dispel the three poison minds. Here, we must remember the quotation, from the sutra. What Buddha said: the antidotes which is caused to dispel the attachment cannot cause to dispel the anger. The antidote which is caused to dispel the anger cannot cause to dispel the attachment. This means attachment and anger, they have their own individual, antidotes. The antidotes, cause to dispel the ignorance. It cause to dispel attachment, anger, hatred, all the affected emotions. So, in order to free us from three poison mind, we need to generate the wisdom, non-attachment, and compassion. If we only realize emptiness, we cannot benefit all sentient beings. Therefore, the third line, may I engage, may I enter in the Bodhisattva deeds or Bodhisattva practice. If we, in our daily life, if we have these three things, wisdom, then bodhicitta, Bodhisattva practice, then free from the three poison mind, then we can accomplish our own welfare, our own benefits. Also, we can accomplish benefit for all sentient beings. Therefore, these three, you can also link with three practices, the three mind training. Also, you can link with the three, scopes. Then His Holiness said, the essence of the Buddha teaching is emptiness, which is presence, which is, explained in the Heart Sutra. So essence of the Buddha teaching is emptiness. All the Buddha teaching, rest of the Buddha teaching, directly, indirectly, it teaches us how to realize emptiness. Why essence? Why emptiness? The shunyata is essence of the Buddha teaching. Why emptiness is the Buddha's intended? Because Buddha always wish all sentient beings free from suffering. In order to free from suffering, we need to get rid of ignorance. Ignorance only can be get rid of when we realize emptiness. Right? Therefore, Heart Sutra is a very short teaching which is condensed, all the Buddha teachings, mostly emptiness, then plus, all the methods. Therefore, emptiness is the essence of the Buddha teaching. Then His Holiness also explained, step by step. And what is the difference is emptiness and selflessness. emptiness and selflessness. There's a, generally we can say, three view from the Buddhist philosophical point of view. The first one based on the Vivashika and Sutantika school. From their point of view, selflessness mean self, or the being is exist. Like even though me and you, we human being, sentient being, animal, we are exist. But we are not exist as a independent. We cannot be as a unity. We, a human being or sentient being, cannot be, like a partless. This means all being empty of the three characteristics. This means the I is empty of, or lack of independent entity. The being is lack of unity. The being is lack of partless. So from their point of view, selfless means, the person, the being is empty of the three characteristics, selflessness. Therefore, then the second is view from the Chitta Mantra. The Chitta Mantra point of view, the selflessness is become more profound, more subtle. The being is not only empty of the three characteristics, not only also empty of the externally existent. From the Chitta Mantra point of view, what we need to think, all the phenomena around us, including our body, speech, and mind, everything look like a dream. When we have a dream, the dream is not totally separate from the mind. Also, we cannot say the dream is a mind. That means the dream is a reflection or the manifestation of the mind. Therefore, from the Chitta Mantra point of view, all the phenomena totally lack of externally existent. Everything look like dream. Then the meaning of selflessness, if we only meditate on selflessness, then we cannot be free from the ignorance. In order to free from ignorance, then we need to realize not selflessness. Also, we need to realize emptiness of the phenomena, rest of the phenomena. That means emptiness of the being, emptiness of the phenomena. The based on we ourselves, me or you, empty of inherently existent is because emptiness of the being. The five aggregates, that means we establish, designated based on the five aggregates. The basis, which is the five aggregates, also empty of inherently existent. Therefore, in order to free from ignorance, from the Madhya Marga point of view, the person, the practitioner need to realize the two types of emptiness. Then also he should link the selflessness with the Four Noble Truths. Four Noble Truths. Definitely, all of you are very much know very well about the Four Noble Truths. without really understand the Four Noble Truths. We don't understand, we're not going to understand, like a triple gem, like Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. The Four Noble Truth. Four Noble Truth, cause of suffering and the suffering, cessation, the path to the cessation. So in order to start the Four Noble Truth, first we need to reflect on the suffering. For example, when you realize you have a serious sickness, then suddenly you feel, I want free from this sickness. I don't want the suffering. I don't want the sickness. Second, then you will search the medicine. Also, you may think, why I am sick? What are the cause to have this sickness? Same thing, when we realize the suffering, the second we need to search what are the cause and condition to have the suffering. So, therefore, all sentient beings, not only human, none of the human being or none of the sentient being want suffering. They always want happiness. Now, the happiness and the suffering is linked with the non-violence and compassion. Because Sanskrit they call, ahimsa. Is the kind of the word that negate words. Ahimsa. Hinsa means violence. Ahimsa means non-violence. If you don't want suffering, you always practice like a non-violence, compassion. Because, for example, we always wish to be happy, but at the same time we harm others to cause us happiness. So this is not the proper way to have this kind of action. Therefore, suffering arises like a hatred and anger. In order to control our own anger and hatred, we need to practice the non-violence, which is compassion. Then, what is the link, happiness and the non-violence, suffering and the violence? Therefore, the second is the view, the dependent origination or dependently arise. That means the happiness we always wish to have happiness, the happiness never come from causeless. There must have a cause. That means the happiness depends on the causes, mainly non-violence, non-harming, compassion. The suffering which is we don't want is also arise. We have based on causes condition. Therefore, so dependent arising and the non-violent is a very important practice of ancient India, the Indian kind of tradition. Then slowly these two traditions come into Buddhist. Then Isulin is quoted, I think, the same stanza from the chapter number 6, 224. Generally, we Buddhists, sometimes we are very very innocent person. Sometimes we are very really very immature when it's come to Dharma. Whatever Buddha taught in the Sutra or Tantra, we truly believe is 100% sure. We never do any kind of analysis. We never ask question. Also, when we open, like a religious book written by Tibetan master, Chinese master, European master, Sri Lanka, we always just believe. Particularly, we just simply follow, believe what the Guru says, what the Guru taught us. So this is not Buddhist tradition. So we must raise a question. We ask question ourselves. We ask question to Buddha. We ask question to all the gurus. So we believe, free from suffering. We believe in achieving liberation. It is possible or it is impossible. We need to ask question. Can we really free from suffering or not? Then, his only answer, based on the quotation from the 6th chapter, yes, we can be free from suffering. How? Why? First, why? Mean the anger we have, the attachment we have, the ignorance we have, all of them is very gross mind. It's a very gross mind. For example, when you see the beautiful object, attachment arises. When we see ugly object, the object is ugliness. Suddenly we feel sense of hatred, sense of dislike. Therefore, all the afflictions are very gross mind. It's not subtle mind. Number one. Number two, all the affliction we have is arise within the mind, but it is not the actual nature of mind. Therefore, the nature of mind is totally pure. Through applying antidotes, then all the afflictions can be separated from the nature of mind. But this is one reason. Can we free from suffering or not? Yes, we can, because all the emotion are reason one, number one, gross. Reason number two, those are not the innate nature of the mind. All the afflictions are, we call advantageous. Mean it look like, for example, last week Singapore weather was, we have a really heavy raining. For the 24 hours, when you look at the sky, you cannot see the blue sky. We can see all the clouds and the cloud is there, but the cloud is not the real nature of the sky. That means later or sooner, the cloud going to remove from the sky, or the cloud or sky can be totally separate. Number one. Then second issue is also explain the gross and subtle mind. For example, when we reach to the subtle level of the mind, that moment look like we are free from afflictions. For example, when we have a really deep sleeping, very deep sleeping, that time no dreaming, no attachment, no anger, no hatred, look like we are total become look like unconscious. That moment, only the subtle mind, subtlest mind, like arising, have been arising. Only subtle mind. All the gross mind is, we can say, dissolve or lay into dormant. Therefore, this reason, due to one of this reason, also we can believe, we can be free from the suffering, because we can be free from the cause of suffering. Then also usually explained in the two truths. Two truths is look like the two wings of the king of the bird. if the king of the bird has only one wing, the bird can fly a little bit here and there, really cannot fly very high. Therefore, the bird must need two, healthy wings. Therefore, in our daily life, we need to practice, we need to meditate on the two truth, conventional and ultimate. Based on these two truths, then we can practice the wisdom and methods. Due to practicing the wisdom method, then we can accumulate merit. Then, we can reach to the enlightened state. Then he also mentioned how we really, reach from the ordinary state to the Buddhahood. Then there's 5 paths. I know most of you, already know what are the 5 paths. Part of accumulation, Tibetan we call Sok Lam Min. First, kind of, renunciation, then bodhicitta. Then you already accumulate, you already fully prepare your journey to Buddhahood. Therefore, we call, the part of accumulation. Accumulate means renunciation, bodhicitta. If you have these two, you already prepare to journey to Buddhahood. Therefore, we saw first part we call the part of accumulation, Soklam. The second we call a part of the preparation. What does mean preparation? Mean based on renunciation, bodhicitta, then the practitioner realize emptiness. Some practitioner may realize emptiness before bodhicitta. That doesn't matter. So preparation means the practitioner, meditate on emptiness within the bodhicitta. Preparation means the practitioner doing, a lot of preparation to see emptiness directly. Right? That means based on the emptiness, the practitioner have to, reach to the karma body and special insight. When the practitioner already reach to karma body special insight, compound practice, then the practitioner reach to the preparation. And now it's very much close to see, directly emptiness. Then we call seeing part. The first time practitioner, when they realize emptiness directly, mean not through the conceptual mind, seeing, perceiving emptiness directly, then we can seeing paths. Then, meditation and no more learning paths. So, related with the 5 paths, the History mentioned very clearly in the past, also today is very clearly, History really hope he can achieve the cessation. He already, claimed, he really said he already reached to the preparation paths. So when we hear this kind of, teaching, we must really feel, I am, we are one of the lucky person to see the real bodhisattva. So he practiced, bodhicitta for many years. He fully, generated bodhicitta. He realized emptiness, not directly. That means we are actually receiving teaching from the real bodhisattva. So we must feel very lucky. So how we should, generate bodhicitta, how we should realize emptiness. Then the student said, we need to put a lot of effort. Particularly, we need to transform our mind in every day. Transform or you can say, promote. Because in Sanskrit, we said dharma, dharma. In Tibetan, we translate the dharma as a chu. Chu means, like a changes or changing, transforming. So when we study, when we open Dharma book, we are not just opening the Dharma book as a novel book. When we open Dharma book, we are not opening, Dharma book as a history. No. When we open Dharma book, we must open the Dharma book how I must change my mind, how I must transform my mind. Therefore, Dharma means the teaching for transformation, teaching for changing for my mind. So we have to changing. The changes transforming must come through study, practice, and effort. Never come from blessing. Is what you mentioned. If you just do a lot of prayers, do a lot of chanting, supplication to bless you to realize emptiness, never realize emptiness. If you just do only supplication, prayer, wish to just bodhicitta fully generate, cannot. So he's saying, this is I'm telling you based on Buddha teaching as well as his own experience. Then he start the Madhyamaka, intermediate way. So what is the uniqueness of the enter into middle way? Entering the middle way, and what is uniqueness? Why Chandrakirti need to compose this text? Because Nagarjuna already composed the 5 texts, particularly the wisdom text, the root of the wisdom text. Then he soon said, so when we open the wisdom text, Zavashara, the root of the wisdom text, from beginning to end, you always can see your emptiness, lack of was always lot of emptiness. We cannot see much about great compassion, bodhicitta, 10 bhumis, 6 perfection. We cannot see much. Everything is there, but is Nagarjuna explained look like more hiddenly. So the middle way is compound the two, the topics, the methods and the wisdom. Two together express very openly, clearly. This is the uniqueness of the one of the uniqueness of this text. Then when he actually started the root text, so before that I will explain a little bit, which is I didn't finish yesterday. So there's 3 kinds of we can generate bodhicitta. Sorry, the great compassion. The great compassion, which is focused merely sentient beings. That means you just remember all sentient beings, that you wish all sentient beings free from suffering. This is one of the compassion. Second, you are observing, impermanence of all sentient beings. Then you can generate compassion. This is another type of compassion. Based on observing, all sentient beings, lack of inherent existence. This is another type of compassion. So it has a very important meanings. For example, when I say, oh, I saw a human being, I'm not differentiating the human being is, like a Asian or European or American, just I saw a human being. Then I add, I saw the Asian people. I add another characteristic which is Asia. Right? Same thing. So just you absorbing all sentient being and generate compassion is what we said. The compassion merely focus on sentient being. Second, actually, all conditioned phenomena are impermanence, right? Impermanence. But we also, rest of the, sentient being, they don't realize impermanence. Everything is changing momentarily. They don't realize. Therefore, they fully attach with this life. They never think, I can be die anytime. Therefore, they totally indulge with the samsaric enjoy, samsaric happiness, samsaric activity. When we think this way, then we feel, very, feel sorry. Then we generate compassion. For example, some person is very sick. The person is sick because the person, having a lot of alcohol. He or she is total alcoholic. Then you notice, he is sick because he has been drinking alcohol. You ask to stop. The person didn't stop drinking alcohol. Then suddenly you have a very compassion mind. How I can benefit this person? That same thing. So based on realizing all sentient beings impermanent, not knowing impermanence, they accumulate a lot of negative karma, having a lot of sufferings. Also, all phenomena actually empty of inherent existence. Without knowing it, we fully believe all phenomena exist independently. Due to that kind of habits, we accumulate negative karma, we engage into a lot of negative action, we have a suffering. Then again, you can generate compassion. Therefore, the first one, I bow to the compassion, the care of such a suffering beings, that merely focus on sentient beings. The second one, beings are like a reflection on the moon in the repelling water. Is explain how generate based on impermanence being. The third one, seeing them as a fleeting, as a devote of the intrinsic nature, is explain how we generate great compassion based on realizing, emptiness, empty of inherently existent sentient being. The bodhisattva mind falls under the compassion's sway, yearning to the set free every transmigrating being. Then, when we have a really great compassion, then we always really wish all sentient beings free from suffering. Then we do a lot of prayers, a lot of chanting, a lot of dedication. Therefore, bodhisattvas who newly generated bodhicitta, right, citta, their mind is totally compassionate. So they do a lot of good things to benefit all sentient beings. Particularly the bodhisattva who reached to the first bhumi, the joyful state. He or she, does billions of prayer or chanting, dedication, aspirations. Doesn't matter how many billions of chanting, dedication, prayer we do, all the prayers, all the aspiration is included into the Samendabhatra's prayers. Therefore, through the intense dedication, with Samantabhadra's prayers. He abode in the perfect joy. This is called the first ground. The Bodhisattva, first time, that means first time only this level, first time, mean he or she never realized emptiness directly in the past. First time he or she realized emptiness directly, definitely, usually said, the person have a great joy. Great joy. For example, you are ill with the serious cancer. The one day you receive the right medicine, fully cure the cancer. How much joy we can have. Same thing. So the Bodhisattva, he or herself always wish to free from suffering, always wish to achieve the Buddhahood, always wish all sentient being free from suffering. He has this kind of strong motivation. First time he realized emptiness directly, then he or she feels so happy. Now I can be free from suffering. Now I can achieve Buddhahood. Now I can benefit all sentient beings. Therefore, the Bodhisattva who reached to the first bhumi means seeing the emptiness directly, he or she has a great joy. Therefore, he abides in the perfect joy. This is called the first ground. Therefore, when you read in other books, sometimes you say bhumi, ground, path, field, earth. Those are synonymous. For example, Bodhicitta is a ground. We name ground because Bodhicitta can produce a lot of good qualities. It looks like based on Bodhicitta, the practitioner can build a lot of good qualities. Therefore, we ground. We name field. Bodhicitta can add us a lot of good qualities. We name field. Also, we can name earth. Bodhicitta is earth. Because earth can carry everything. When you have bodhicitta, you can bear all kinds of sufferings, all kinds of problems. That we name bodhicitta as a earth. Then path. So bodhicitta is not a path you can walk on it. No. But we name path. So when we need to reach to the destination, we need a path. Also, we need to follow the path. So bodhicitta is the path to reach in the destination, which is Buddhahood. So bodhicitta path means every day, every moment, you need to generate. You need to increase the bodhicitta. That means you are walking on the bodhicitta. Therefore, it has about perfect joy. This called first ground. Ground, bhumi, earth, path. Those are synonymous when you open the Dhamma book. Then from that point on, having attained this ground, he is held by the name Bodhisattva alone. He or she, first time realizing emptiness, since we can call, ultimate bodhicitta. That means, we can have perfect bodhicitta. Since you generated bodhicitta, we name Bodhisattva. Since you realize emptiness directly, then we name ultimate, perfect Bodhisattva. The second line, he is born into the lineage of the Tathagata as well. He become a ultimate Bodhisattva. He become, Buddha's lineage, or he can, a son of the Buddha. Also, I explained yesterday why we name Bodhisattva, all the Bodhisattva, we name, child of the Buddha, child of the Sugata. Why child? Why we name child? Why in all the Indian master, all the Buddha, even the Buddha himself, he named all the Buddha Sadhavas, named as a son of the Buddha, lineage of the Buddha. Why? Many of you are, like used to be parents or father or mother. When you have a very naughty boy, very naughty child, always being naughty, never listen you, then we say, you are not my child. You are not my son. You are not my daughter. Right? Being a naughty, the parents said, you are not my child. That means we all sentient beings, we totally ignorant, totally being a naughty for millions of years. That means Buddha never feel we are a child of the Buddha. Then one day, your child, the naughty child, become very perfect, very good. Then you say, oh, you are real my son. You are real my daughter. You feel very closeness. That means we've been naughty for many years, many millions of years. The first time when we generated Bodhicitta, all the Buddha very much please your practice. Particularly when you realize emptiness, all the Buddha feel very close feeling with the Bodhisattva. Therefore, the name child or son or lineage. He is born on the lineage of the Tathagata as well. He has utterly approached the three bonding factors. The Bodhisattva, when he reached to the first bhumi, he abandoned three factors. That means the gross ignorance. The gross, first one, ignorance, we can call the gross ignorance, not the subtle one. Gross ignorance, no. Doubt, the negative doubt, then believe the inferior ethical discipline as a superiors, then the wrong view. So the Bodhisattva, when he reached to the first bhumi, he eliminated the negative doubts, eliminated the inferior ethical discipline, belief as a superior. He also eliminated this kind of one of the view, then the wrong view. Such as a Bodhisattva uphold the state of supreme joy. So he has a great joy. Then he has the power to shake the 100 world. The Bodhisattva, when he reached to the first bhumi, he has the power to shake 100 walls. And also the stepping on from one ground to the another, he travel perfectly to the higher one. That means first bhumi to second bhumi to all the way 10 bhumi. At the end of the 10 bhumi, the Bodhisattva become a Buddha. Then at the point that path to all lower realms are blocked for him, also the Bodhisattva who abide in the first bhumi, he totally block, totally stop to born into lower realms. Because he fully control ignorance, grasping, attachment. Even though he or she has the negative karma, even though they reach to the first bhumi, second bhumi, still they have negative karma. The negative karma cannot really push the practitioner into lower realm because he or she fully control ignorance, and then I think grasping and craving. Therefore, all the negative karma, it looks like just seeds without soil and water. Therefore, at the point, the path to all lower realm are blocked for him. At the point all the groan of the ordinary person cease for him. So no more an ordinary being. So he become a arhat, Arya. No more, being ordinary being. He is described clearly in the terms asking to add Arya. This is difficult to understand. We just skip. Now the last sentence, the sentence number 8. Even when abiding on the first ground of the mind for fully awakening, right? So this has two parts in Tibetan, fully awakening. In Tibetan, these are the Sanskrit word translated in Tibetan, they are called Changchup, right? In the Sanskrit, there is a Bodhisattva, also Buddha, Bodhisattva. This awakening mind, I think Bodhisattva, Tibetan translate Changchup, two words. So he's going to explain this. What does it mean? Chang, Chup. Chang has two meaning. So the Bodhisattva who reached to the first bhumi, he has the potential to clearing, eliminating all the negative thoughts. That means Chang means clear. Chu means realized. Realize, truth, directly. He or she, when reached to the first bhumi, he or she fully realized truth, direct mind, not through perception. Chang Chu. So then the next sentence is, I think, is only explained based on the commentary. He, again, make sure, some of you are like a Europe or European, you're from Europe, America. He not referred to the, like a man. He, in Tibetan language, he mean can be both male and female. In same Chinese, you can say ta. Ta can be, male or female. He referred to the just, person, not referred to the only man. Therefore, he surpasses those born from the sage speech and the Pratika Buddha. Right? The Bodhisattva first, he reached to the first bhumi. He or she, the Bodhisattva, totally surprised the true. Who are the true? The sage speech and the Pratika Buddha. You can say, Pratika Buddha and the Charvaka, surprise. Mean, fully, I think, surprise mean, what does mean again? Also, last I forgot to explain this one. We can, Charvaka. This word Tibetan, translated Tibetan because Nyente, hearer. Right? What does mean hearer? Because Bodhisattva also listen or receive teaching from Buddha. Also, he taught the teaching for others. But the hearer, the practitioner who practice Dharma only for, him or her liberation, we call, Hinayan practitioner or Theravada practitioner. The hearer, he or she, can receive, Mahayan teaching, attend the Mahayan teaching, just, pass the teaching to others. He or she don't practice the Mahayan path. Still listening the Mahayan teaching, have been receiving Mahayan teaching, not applying him or herself, that pass to others. Therefore, we solely say we all look like more hearer. Most of the master, gurus, the teacher look like more hearer. They listen the teaching, they never apply themselves, they pass to other. So we should not be like that. We must listen the teaching, we apply our daily life, then you can pass the teaching to other. Then you will know the teaching has benefits. That hearer. Therefore, surprise means there's a two different way to surprise the hearer and solitary realizer. The practitioner, when he or she reaches the first bhumi, there is here, he surprises those born from the sage's speech and the Pradika Buddhas through the power of his merit. And his merit increase ever more. So until first bhumi, the bodhisattva cannot really surprise the hearer and solitary realizer by power of merit. Since first bhumi, the merit becomes so powerful, cannot compare the merit which is accumulated by hearer and solitary realizer. Suppressed by power of merit. Also his or her merit increase furthermore. Then the next sentence, when at gone affair, he will also suppress them by intelligence. The gone affair means the seven bhumi. The bodhisattva, he or she, when it reaches to the seventh bhumi, then the bodhisattva can surprise hearer and solitary realizer through power of intelligence. Intelligent means, intelligent about realizing emptiness. So this has so many things to explain. So this one, I think we go a little bit from the commentary by Lama Tsongkhapa. Let alone on the second and the subsequent grounds of the mind of full awakening, even when abide on the first ground through the power of merit of conventional awakening mind and compassion, is surprised, that is to say, outshone Charvaka who are born from the sage speech and the Pradika Buddha. And he merit increase evermore. Unlike thus the true, this then other distinctive. When he or she reach the first bhumi, the merit become very powerful, cannot compare with the merit you have been accumulating by hearer and solitary realizer. Why? The bodhicitta combined with the wisdom which realizes emptiness. When he or she meditate on emptiness, also the wisdom, conjoined with the bodhicitta. Therefore, the merit becomes very distinctive from the hearer and solitary realizer. When you look at the wisdom side, the bodhisattva who realizes emptiness directly, the wisdom is not much different compared with, if you compare with the hearer and solitary realizer, because the hearer, the solitary realizer, Acharya, they also perceive emptiness directly. So if you compare with the intelligent, there's a same intelligence. The merit is different. Then when he or she reaches the seventh bhumi, then he or she becomes totally distinctive, from the hearer and solitary realizer. So there's a lot of reasoning. So, next time when we have a class, then I can explain. Then his solution is based on the commentary. the commentary make a quotation from the sutra of the 10 bhumi. There's a sutra name we call, 10 bhumi. They quoted a sutra. Based on the sutra, then Chandrakirti says on the commentary, this quotation clearly shows the Theravada practitioner or Hinayana practitioner must realize emptiness. Emptiness. So this one also we need to know a little bit about the history. According to Theravada Buddhist tradition, they criticize, the Sanskrit Buddhist tradition, or you can say criticize about the Mahayana teaching. They believe the Mahayana teaching, Tantrayana teaching, not really taught by Buddha. Tantrayana is actually come from the Hindu Tantrayana tradition. Then the Mahayana teaching, everything is, developed, all the Indian Buddhist master, not really taught by Buddha. Why? The Prajna Paramita teaching, not taught by Buddha, because in the teaching say no nose, no tongue, no body, no, empty, right? They thought empty means nothingness. So they don't accept emptiness, the concept of emptiness. Therefore, Chandrakirti very much, emphasize the emptiness, the Prajna Paramita teaching taught by Buddha, because without realizing emptiness, we cannot eliminate ignorance. Therefore, the Theravada practitioner or who follow Theravada tradition, Buddhist tradition, they must realize emptiness. Therefore, they explain, emphasize the Hinayana practitioner or Theravada practitioner must realize emptiness. Otherwise, cannot eliminate ignorance. Then, what is the differences between, the Theravada tradition and Mahayana tradition or Sanskrit tradition? Because both teaching, explain, taught emptiness. What the differences? Then the differences we must differentiate. Not teaching emptiness. We must differentiate, teaching the Bodhisattva deeds, the Bodhisattva practices. Right? So this thing is very important. You keep in your mind. First, Bodhisattva who reached to the first bhumi, he or she can surprise the hearer and solitary realizer by power of merit, not power of intelligence, not power of wisdom. When he or she reaches to the seventh bhumi, then he or she can surprise a hearer and solitary realizer by power of intelligence. That means become very unique, right? Then there's another thing I can review. Then it's actually start the stanza number 9. At this point, the first cause of the full awakening. That means first bhumi, reach to first bhumi, all the practices actually really cause for a full awakening. Then the perfection of the generosity will become permanent, committed to give away even this, his very flesh. Giving become a sign to inferior, unseen quality. Then the slowly, generosity, ethical discipline. Okay, so this is, I think, the revision class for today. If you have any question, if you have a doubt, he should say this is what is this. If I could, then I will try to explain. So please feel free to have a question.
Dharma brothers and sisters, so it's Q&A session right now. If you have any question, you can either raise your hand or type in your question in the chat window. Kishula, the first question is, it is regarding death resolution process.
Okay.
So after dissolving the earth, water, fire, and water element followed by the consciousness aggregate, 80 indicative transactions, mind of white appearance, mind of red increase, and mind of near attainment. After this, how do we generate the Dhammakaya, Sambhogakaya, and Nimanakaya? In these three kaya, who are we arising as? Which deity are we generating as?
First, thank you so much for asking the question. The process of the death, the process of the dissolution, the process of arising. First, you need to know how, the process of arising. First, when we enter into mother womb, what we have first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. If you know how the process, arising process, then very easy to know the process of dissolving. And also, this is a very common, error. People think when we say the water dissolve into earth. You think there's a water, the water dissolve into earth. There's only earth. This is not the right meaning. So most of you are, not, the really have a lot of, maybe haven't received the initiation, but still I will explain in very simple way. Water dissolved into earth mean the water cannot function anymore, Then the earth, potential function more. That means water totally, the water cannot have any function. Now the earth has a function. Then water, earth, or into fire, fire into air. Then there's a four appearance: white, red, white, white, red, black. Then the last one we so chepa. After the fourth appearance, then there's another four types of empty. We say empty. Then great empty. Empty everything. Then clear light mind. Okay. First empty, great empty, empty everything, then clear light mind. So this practice, this process, you can combine with the what you call the generation stage, two stages, right? And the Vajrayana generation and completion stage. You can combine these two stages. If you do, daily deity yoga. In order to do this practice, every day when you do sadhana, you have to go through the process of arising, the process of dissolving. Therefore, many people, many of us, include me, I'm not just saying include me, when we do the sadhana, we just chant the sadhana, then we focus the reciting mantra, then we, at the end we do the dissolution finish. This is not the proper way to do the, sadhana. This is not your problem. No, this is not your fault. This is the fault most of the gurus. Many gurus, many teachers, many Rinpoche, they're always willing to give you initiation. Also, you are very happy to receive a lot of initiation. Then all your free time occupy with the sadhana, recitation, visualization. You have a lot of big fantasies. We don't have the foundation, which is emptiness. Then how we can arise ourselves as a deity? We don't have a foundation, which is bodhicitta, how we really wish to be Buddha. Therefore, if you do deity in one of the idam, the word is not the correct deity because idam, but I want to use the idam. If you do one or two idam, when you do sadhana, you really need to focus. The death, the process of death, how to transform into dharmakaya. Then the process of the intermediate state, how to transform into, I think, nirmanakaya, tulku. Then the process of, take a rebirth. Or the process of intermediate, how to transform into the joyful body. The process of taking rebirth, how to transform into part of the reincarnation. What does it mean? As an ordinary person, after we dead, we go in the intermediate. After intermediate state, we go to next life. The higher practitioner who really do the proper sadhana, who have the proper practice, someone can be Buddha before process of the dying. Someone can become a Buddha in the intermediate state. Someone can be Buddha just before take a rebirth. We are not, because we are not much emphasized about the three practices. That the compilation state, the generation state, the practice of the generation state is very much need to focus the three practices. The process of dying, the process of intermediate state, the process of rebirth, transform into three kaya, I think Shiva Chugu, Dharmakaya, joy, then maybe in English there's a joyful body, then reincarnation. That this based on the practitioner, the Tantrayana practitioner. So if you are a very ordinary person, you don't have all the Tantrayana practice, then you need to realize, instead of having sense of fears or worry, scary, now I'm on the process of death. Almost I think you can realize until the fire dissolved into earth. Then during the white appearance, the red, the black, still I think you can realize, you can recognize. Yes, this process. Now I'm reached to this. Then the last stage, clear light state. When you realize now the clear light mind going to arise or going to function, that means your mind becomes so subtle. The subtle mind, you need to transform into path. Mean the clearer mind, the mind can generate bodhicitta, the clearer mind can meditate on emptiness, the clearer mind meditate on impermanence. Then you can meditate on impermanence with the subtle mind for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Then we call thuktam. He's not mentioned that his teacher stay, I think 12 days meditation after we call clinically died. But these days there's, I think, so many misunderstanding about, the thuktam. Someone pass away, the body remain fresh for 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. We thought, wow, he or she must be very high practitioner. Not necessary. It's a very misunderstanding. The clear mind able to meditate on emptiness, we can call thuktam. The clear mind able to generate bodhicitta, then we can call thuktam. Then this step you can remain for a few weeks, few days, then we can say the person still on the thuktam. When the clear mind appears, the clear mind attached to your belongings, your families, your house, or your friends, then you can be this kind of state for a few weeks. The body can remain still very fresh. That means your mind is fully attached with the samsaric thing. In should not name thuktam. Therefore, today any monks, died yesterday, today fresh, few weeks still fresh. They post a lot of photo, video. They say, wow, it's a great practitioner. It's not true. Not true. We must know. We should not feel far, should not feel so surprised. It can be very good, can be very bad. Right? Thuktam. Then another problem we have this day, because since you know the Tibetan monks and nuns, or like follow Tibetan master, someone pass away, they offer the body in the fire. After a few days, then you clear the ashes. You can find, like a blue color, white color, gilly color, round, different shape. They thought, wow, it's so holy, relax. We never do research. If you burn ordinary person, you check, he or she can have same, not necessarily everybody. Even the non-Buddhist, people, even though when you just burn a dog, in the fire, put so many substance, if you check, you can see something very special. This thing also, you feel very proud. You feel so, moved seeing this thing. Also, not necessary is very, very holy. Yeah, for your answer, this process you combine with the practice of idam. You can practice as a Sutrayana paths. Therefore, His Holiness said, someone passed away, what were the advice? His Holiness says, moment of the death, when we are in process of death, we need to visualize Buddha, or we need to meditate on compassion, love. Also, he said, you can just look at my photo, you just look at photo, and then the watching, look at the photo, pass away, the person can born into higher realms. So this is an answer for you. Any question? I don't think we have time.
One more question, Visya.
Okay, very good.
During just now at the last part of His Holiness teaching, His Holiness asked us to do the meditation. So here there is a request for Geshe to kindly share with us any structured way to meditate on emptiness.
Okay, thank you so much asking, ask me to explain. It's a very simple practice, but very important, very effective. First, His Holiness said, for example, before you generate the Sarva Yoga, because Sab Yoga, right? Sab Yoga Bodhicitta. In Sanskrit, they call Sarva Yoga Bodhicitta. Before we generate bodhicitta, before we take our vows, we always take refuge. After you have taken refuge, then you need to, visualize, feel or merit. And that time you should think who, the being who visualize the feel of merit, the being who practice the, who take refuge, who has taken refuge. Also, you need to reflect on the refuge. Then also you reflect on the mind. You reflect where's actually me who has taken refuge. So you need to do analytical meditation to try to find the independent I. Independent I. When you analyze how I am exists, then you exist merely designation, not exist independently. That means we meditate on emptiness of I. Also, you reflect on the triple gems, Buddha, Dharma, and analyze. When we say Buddha, actually, which one is the Buddha? Which one is Dharma? Then also, slowly you can realize emptiness of the triple gem. Then you just, meditate on emptiness of the being, emptiness of the Buddha, or emptiness of whatever, emptiness phenomena. Do short meditation on emptiness. Right? Then the mind which is reflect on emptiness, the mind which meditate on emptiness, you can just imagine the mind transform into, like a full moon in your heart. That means the wisdom transform into moon disk. Then within the realizing emptiness, you reflect on all sentient beings. Remember their kindness. Once you remember their kindness, then you can generate, like a love. Based on the true condition, remembering the kindness, having love, you can generate great compassion. Having great compassion, then you wish all sentient beings free from suffering, wish all sentient beings, be happy. In order to free all sentient beings from suffering, you must think, this moment I don't have any ability, I don't have any power, free all sentient beings. I myself I cannot free from suffering. Therefore, first, I must have to be Buddha. Then I can benefit sentient. Then second, you just wish, have a mind to achieve, wish to be Buddha, to benefit all sentient beings. Then you just continuously, hold the mind as much as you can. Then the mind which is wish to be Buddha, the bodhicitta mind, we just imagine transform into Vajra with the 5 spokes. The Vajra, bodhicitta transform into the shape of Vajra on the full moon. Then you must think, since today, until I become Buddha, I will practice these 2 practices. Practice of wisdom, which realizes emptiness, and the conventional bodhicitta. This is your life practice. If you do this practice every day, then moment of the death, still you can remember, you can do this practice. Then when you're really passing away this life, you can pass away through having meditation of these 2 practices. Therefore, the 7-point mind training said, the lifetimes summary practice, the 5 powers. 5 powers, right? So yeah, this is a short explanation for you. And thank you so much, all of you, to attending your 2-day classes.
Yeah, Geshe, sorry, just one point.
Later, I think the puja is
3:30. Puja is 3:30. So just one point to clarify to the first question.
okay.
So in Tantrayana, which deity do we arise as? Is it the Yidam followed by the Manjushri, followed by Sakyamuni Buddha?
If we really follow the Buddhist, Tantrayana tradition, remember the three aspects of principle: renunciation, bodhicitta, emptiness. So first we must have the Sutrayana practice. Renunciation, bodhicitta, emptiness, 6 perfections. Then you think you need to, then you can consider to practice Vajrayana. Having all this condition, then if you want to practice Vajrayana, then you need to search. You need to look, you need to find a Vajrayana or yan is same meaning. Okay, Vajrayana is the 2 different pronunciation. You need to find Vajrayana Guru. The Vajrayana Guru must have the quality which is explained based on the Vajrayana teaching. First, you need to find the qualified Vajrayana Guru. Then, even though you really need to, do a lot of study. You double check. Singapore, you said double check. You really need to double check the person can be good for my Guru or not, Vajrayana Guru. Through your study, you really fully satisfy, oh, he's a perfect Guru like Dalai Lama. Then you need to request him to accept you his disciple. Then the Guru will tell you which idam is suitable for you. You cannot choose yourself. You cannot. So different people has a different, the mentality, different mental disposition. Yamendaka can be suited for someone, it cannot be suited for others. Vasamaja, Chakra Samaja, Kalachakara, Vajra Yogini, whatever. The Guru will tell you, oh, like I'm following, let's say, Gelupa tradition, oh, Yamendaka can be your idam. Can be idam, because the Guru will do some kind of, study. So the Guru must tell which idam is suit for you. So Gelupa tradition, so we have a 3 main idam. Yamendaka, the wisdom kind of deity, then Guha Samaja, then Chakra Samaja. These 3 deities you must combine together. You must practice together. Therefore, Yamendaka practice really increase your wisdom. Free you from the inner, outer, the secret obstacles. Then Guha Samaja is the actual practice, which is the 5 or 6 stages. Then through Chakra Samaja, when you practice the Chakra Samaja, it increases your energy, increase your bliss in your body. So these 3 things must combine together, go side by side. Then some of you, I think, follow the Vajra Yogini. Vajra Yogini, actually the concept of the Guha Samaja. But in Gelugpa tradition, there's a 2 view. Some Guru master say, as a Gelugpa, you must practice Vajra Yogini. There are so many other Gelugpa gurus, masters say, Vajra Yogini is not important idam if you follow Gelu, right? So instead of you are interested in Vajrayana path, please, you should have a more interested in the Kadamba practice, like Lamrim, Great Compassion, Bodhicitta, renunciation, 6 perfections. Then one day, you can have a perfect guru, you can have a perfect deity. Without this, the Kadamba practice, we cannot, we should not think to practice, the Vajrayana, the deities. Okay, any question? No more?
No more, that's all. Thank you, Geshe.
Okay, everybody, thank you so much, patient for the 2 days with my English. I'm so sorry, my English is no good, I know. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you, Geshe, for the wonderful revision class. So to conclude this year Asia teaching, we will have a live streaming of Yamantaka Fire Puja that's conducted at Manali Nari Monastery at 3:30 p.m. today. So kindly click on the link chat that I have provided in the chat window to sign up so that you can get the Zoom link to participate in this live streams puja. Okay, Geshe, last but not least, could we do a dedication, please?
Okay, so during the 2 days attending class from His Holiness, the actual Bodhisattva, definitely we have accumulated a lot of merits, a lot of positive actions. All the actions we combine together. First, we dedicate to long life His Holiness Dalai Lama and all the other lineage gurus. Second, we all our merit we have accumulated for the 2 days. We dedicate to have a right understanding of Dharma, to have the perfect practice of the Dharma. Last, we dedicate the merit for world peace, free all human beings from all kinds of disease and sickness, particularly COVID-19. And also right now, the situation in Afghanistan is very serious. So we never know what will happen in the future. Look like this, very scary. It's more scary, more dangerous than any kind of COVID. So we dedicate the merit to reduce, the attachment, anger, hatred, to able to, generate love and compassion, able to have the mutual understanding between all the leaders of the Afghanistan or Taliban and the rest of the world leaders. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.